Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. We're not going to do an intro today except to say Crazy Troll Nation rocks. Loving what you do on your channel, enjoying the channels you watch, and wearing what you want to wear and just rocking it and knowing you are the bomb. If you're new here, I do curse sometimes in videos because I curse sometimes, period. So we're just going to jump in because I was starting to get into thoughts when I did this look. Excuse me. I know it's not my typical look. Like, I know this. She cute though. She cute. Because trolls are always cute. But I was starting to get into my thoughts about different palettes and things that I'm feeling like I need to experiment with. And then I said, you know what? Let me not get into that. And let me just do a separate video because that video was about this look. My under eyes are looking dark. I'm still fine though. So this is what I was thinking about. Excuse me. Look number 3. Excuse me. Y'all like, girl, just edit all that out. The third look I did was Swamp of Sorrows. I do have a video of a fourth look coming up with this that's already scheduled because I was trying to think about whether or not to keep it. And it's a beautiful palette. It's a simple color story, but it's just something about it. I don't know if it's the formula, how they apply. I struggle with it. These 4 right here, I love this color story. If this was just a quad, you know, it would be easy. Just keep it because I don't quite have colors like this. These shadows show up to me true to pan. Even these 4 over here. The downside to these showing up true to pan is these 2 show up exactly the same on me. This one is a shimmer, this one is not. But you can't really tell once I put it on that this is a shimmer and this one is not. This one, borderline dusty. Actually, it's not borderline dusty. This one, it does make me look a little dusty, ashy. This one is true to pan, so I have to be careful where I put it. But I love that it's that puke green shadow. The only metallics in here is this one right here and this one over here. And so I'm usually kind of stumped on what to do with it because I want to gravitate to the greens because they're so bold. But then it's like, how many looks with greens can you do and they look different? You know what I mean? And if you take out one of the greens, that leaves me 7 shades. If I take out this dusty ashy one, that leaves me with 6 shades. This one I have to be careful where I put it. And so part of me is like, how often am I really going to use this palette? These 4 right here, though, I love. And I think look 3, I ended up putting this on lower lash line or this one lower lash line, and I didn't mean to because I'm like, I'm not going to use the greens, and then, you know, I put one of the greens under there. And so I was thinking, like, am I going to keep it? I did do look 4. I don't remember what the look looks like. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you'll see it before this video, I think. So this video may be irrelevant by the time you see it. That screen back there is looking really crooked. Anyway, so that was my dilemma on whether or not to keep it. And then it is a lovely palette. The formula is amazing, but I just don't use it. And I look at it, and because of my skill set and, you know, my color combinations, like how I envision things to be, like this palette stumps me. Like I look at it and like, what else can I do but green and brown? You know what I mean? And it is more you can do with it. And then part of me says, did I just stick my finger in it? Yep, I did, into that puke green. And then part of me is like, okay, just do a look with these shades, which again, these 2 look the same on me. But then that would be an easy, basic green look, but this would make me look dusty, which would make it just a 2 shadow look, like just these 2 shades. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, what do I do with it? And I could do a halo look, you know, with these 2 shades. And hope this doesn't look too dusty, like if I do under my brow. So even though I really enjoy this palette, I just don't really know what else to do with it. And I don't like to keep doing the same looks over and over and over and over. And so my thought was to declutter it. Excuse me. And that's why I did the look number 4 to just do something else with it. And this look today that I did is with the Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette. These 3 shades in here are not the Trio Chrome shades. The 2 that I tried irritated my lids. I never used a 3rd one. I sold them on Macari. These 3 in this column are from the Heather Austin Adept Cosmetics palette. Ironically, I have not even used them since I put them in this palette. But I was thinking of what do I have that I can put in here and it looks like it goes with the palette. But I haven't used them since I put them in here. But I don't want to have empty spaces because these can really go and I wouldn't even miss them because I never even use them. But this look today, all the mattes in here, I love her formula, which is why I wanted to try it. And I was curious if it would make me look dusty. It doesn't, except just this one shade here, which is in my inner corner. This is the only one that makes me look dusty. So even like this shade, this one, these two shades that usually look dusty and ashy on me, they didn't. And so I do love the formula. And so what I did the last time I used this palette, I used shades from this row and this row with the Mothman palette, and it looked friggin' awesome. And so even though I don't use this palette on its own, except today we use these 4 shades for this look, my intention was keep this for when I use Mothman palette because it does pair well with Mothman palette, and I'm going to show you Mothman palette. So this is what I was thinking earlier today, was what to do with Swamp of Sorrows. And the tones in Swamp of Sorrows are unique to my collection. And again, the formula is outstanding. So I'm awkward if you didn't know. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So this is Triochrome here, of course, and this is Mothman. And looking at the mattes in Triochrome, you can see why they pair well with the Mothman palette. So I'm definitely going to keep Triochrome, but I'm thinking of how to condense it. And I do have an empty Natasha Denona Quint that I can just take 5 of the Triochrome shades and put in there, and then just, it'll be a smaller palette to just pick up with Mothman instead of these 2 large palettes. And so I was thinking about that, and I do know that I like the Triochrome mattes with Mothman. And so what I was thinking about today that I almost got into and said let me just do a separate video is, what if I used excuse me, Swamp of Sorrows with Mothman. The thing with Swamp of Sorrows too is because it's so small, it hides from me. So I have to like intentionally sit it in the middle, like in front of my mirror, so I'll see it to use it. And so it's like, okay, I feel limited with what I can do with it because of my skill set with color placement. And then also it hides from me, and I'd rather it be somewhere and get used. And so that's my dilemma on whether or not to keep it. And so when I look at Triochrome with Swamp of Sorrows, like, yes, Triochrome is very muted. The shadows do show up nice on me though. I mean, they do show up. I don't look ashy or dusty except this one here in the corner. These are rich and deep in Swamp of Sorrows. But I was thinking, what if I keep Swamp of Sorrows to use with the Mothman palette? Will it go though? Because Mothman, it is lighter tones, which is what made Triochrome perfect, the mattes in Triochrome perfect to use with that. And then I'm looking at this thinking, will these shades in Swamp of Sorrows go well with Mothman? I know this will. I know this will. I do believe this will. And even maybe, you know, one of the greens. I should say both the greens, because to me they actually look identical on my lid, which is one of my pet peeves with palettes, is when there's duplicate shades in there. But so I'm wondering, like, would this go? And as far as having that dark brown, this brown right here, it is chocolate. It is deep. And because the Triochromes and multichromes and dual chromes and Mothman, I'm like, would that brown even really go? And so part of me is like, just experiment with it. Just experiment with it and see what'll happen. And so that may or may not be something I would do. And I could just use this orange or this brown, or maybe even this yellow, just very lightly in the outer corner for something different. And so I'm thinking I'm going to experiment with that, because I want to use this, but I just really don't. I want it to have a happy home. I really like it, so I don't want to get rid of it, but yet I'm stuck on it because I don't use it and it hides from me. And I'm stuck on what else to do with it, which means, okay, try to pair it with something else. And so if you're interested in seeing me experimenting with this, let me know. I am curious about it, but then I don't know if I'm curious enough about it to try it. Excuse me. So that's my thoughts with Swamp of Sorrows and the Triochrome palette, pairing it with Mothman. And because when I do feel like it's time to declutter, I'm really thinking critically of what I use, what I enjoy using. Am I going to continue using it? Does it serve a purpose, or is it just here taking up space? And also, when I'm thinking of what to declutter, I don't want to have dupes in my collection. I don't have dupes, because I did check. I don't have dupes for the shades in here in Swamp of Sorrows. And I don't have dupes for Trio Chrome. Excuse me. And so I'm kind of stuck on what to do. And because this is so small, it's like it's not in the way. But at the same time, it's like you're just here to just be here. Because I don't see you, because you hide and you're not getting used. And so, why are you here? It is a very lovely palette, though. So those are my thoughts about that. And I just wanted to just talk about that real quick to see what you think. Like, if you have Swamp of Sorrows, do you pair it with other palettes, or do you just use it on your own? Do you find that you get variety out of it, or do you just keep doing brown and green looks? You know what I mean? And it has diversity to it if your skill set is greater than mine. Because when I see this, it's just, I can only see a few looks. And mainly because these two look kind of dusty on me. And so I don't want to look dusty. And so that limits what I can do. So I'm torn. I'm torn on this palette. And I probably need to upload this soon, because I'm planning a declutter live soon. And so this won't make sense if I air it after that. So that's something else I need to think about. So that's going to be just it. Really quick, really simple, just my little random thoughts. And also, if you have Trio Chrome, let me know what you think of this. If you have Mothman, let me know what you think about that. And that'll be it for this video. I am sweating. So I'm going to go. Yeah, so just short, quick, for once. Just some random thoughts, because I'm trying to think of what to get rid of. And there are some things I'm definitely going to get rid of, and it will surprise some people. But that's okay, because we like surprises. Thank you for being here. As always, self-acceptance, self-love, that is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Comments, thumbs up, shares, joining, all of that stuff is always welcome. And you will see me in the next video. Thanks.